Welcome to Focus Washington. I'm Chuck Conconi. My guest today is Sean Miller, who covers the campaign for the Hill. You guys have a poll coming out now that's pretty significant. Tell me what you find that is so significant, other than the fact that the Democrats are going to get their heads handed to them.
Well, Chuck, we polled 12 congressional districts where we have freshman Democrats who are on the chopping block. They're fighting for their seats against a Republican wave that it looks like to be building. We found that there's tight races out there, but there's still a lot of undecided voters. We've got double digits in most of these districts of folks who are undecided. They haven't decided who they're going to vote for, and so on the one hand, it's kind of doom and gloom for the Democrats. Some of these folks are down double digits. Kathy Dahlkemper up in Pennsylvania 3. She's trailing her opponent by about 13 points in our survey. So. There's some bad news out there for Democrats, but on the other hand, they have a chance to turn it around. I mean, we're still 4 weeks away from the election, so there's still time.
Well, are you seeing an anti-incumbent movement at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing. What we picked up is some of the current that's been out there for a while. I mean, we're seeing Republicans more enthusiastic, Democrats a little bit less so, Independents a little bit less so. We're definitely seeing an anti-incumbent mood, folks. Now, these undecided voters, the conventional wisdom is that they're going to break towards the challenger. I mean, if they haven't, warmed up to the incumbent after 2 years and haven't decided that they're going to vote for them, they may not decide in the next week or next 4 weeks to do that.
Well, but some of these freshmen, because of the great Obama landslide, basically, was considered that they should not have won those races. Is that showing up in these polls?
Well, these districts that we polled, half of them were districts that McCain won. So these are. Like Betsy Markey out in Colorado, she's holding a district that leans Republican. So I mean, we polled districts, some Obama districts, some McCain districts. These folks certainly aren't necessarily Obama people. They won in a wave year, but they're not holding districts that that Democrats traditionally hold. And so it'll be interesting to see, if they go, if a Republican comes in, whether or not that these districts sort of go back to becoming reliably Republican areas.
Well, what are you finding in the breakdown on Republicans, Democrats, undecided, who's going to vote, who's not going to vote, what the percentage breakdown seems to be?
Well, what's interesting is that we're seeing young people skewing towards these Republican challengers, and that may be kind of a sense of, disappointment maybe with Congress not having come through with jobs. I mean, you look at the unemployment rate for young people; they tend to be, the unemployment rate tends to be significantly higher for folks who are out of college in their 20s. So we found, in the age group, 18 to 30, these folks are actually tending towards Republican challengers this time, which is against the grain of the conventional wisdom.
That doesn't make sense.
Right.
I mean, they were so enthusiastic about Obama. What happened? Did Obama really mess up somehow? Is he not talking to them? What happened?
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing in these surveys, people are definitely saying that Obama's performance in office, or how they're perceiving his performance in office, his policies, that's affecting their vote. I mean, the conventional wisdom has been, all politics is local. Mm-hmm. But what we're seeing in our surveys is that people are saying, the president's policies, his performance over the last 2 years, that's impacting how they're going to vote in November. So it's interesting.
Well, I guess it surprises me because it was within 2 years, this has fallen apart for Obama and for the Democrats. But it looks like that the Republicans are the ones who are going to vote more strongly than the Democrats? Yeah,
there's no question. I mean, the enthusiasm is really on the Republican side. I mean, they've seen that. We've seen that building in primary after primary, where we've had high Republican turnout and sort of kind of damp enthusiasm on the Democratic side. Part of that as well is it's a lot easier to be on offense in politics than it is to play defense. I mean, Democrats really they hold districts now that in years past they would never have dreamed of holding.
That's right.
So I mean, the Republicans really, it's a lot easier to attack the party in power, to say, look, they haven't done a good job, they haven't come through with their campaign promises, than it is to defend policies that haven't necessarily had an impact on people, like health care.
One quick last question, which I've asked to your colleagues from the Hill paper when they've been here before, is that you predict that the Democrats are going to lose the House, hold the Senate, or how's that going to go, do you think?
Chuck, I think it remains to be seen. Right now, it looks as though Republicans are going to get a foothold of power, that they could end up, winning a slight majority. But you know, Democrats. You talk to Democratic strategists now; they're saying, "Look, we're seeing a glimmer of hope." You know, it's still a long time in politics. A month is a long time. I don't think the Senate will flip. I think a lot of even Republicans.
But what about the House?
The House, I think, there's a good chance. I think there's a good chance.
Okay, Sean Miller, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm Chuck Coney, and this has been Focus Washington.